Hi, I'm Ed O'Keefe, Senior White House and Political Correspondent for CBS News in Ankeny, Iowa, where we're about to watch the 2024 presidential campaign, well, snowball. Why do so many Americans pay so much attention to this small state as it makes a big decision? Back in 2016, the last competitive Republican caucus, there were just 186,000 participants, less than a third of registered Republicans in the state. Now, this tiny place has such a big role to play as America starts to pick a president. So beyond getting a read of what some of the most conservative Republican voters in the country are thinking ahead of the caucus, Iowa's a reminder that, in some ways, Americans can do their democracy in a very involved and detailed way. Come along with us as we visit a mock caucus as Republicans get ready to cast their ballots on Monday night. In Iowa, 40 delegates are up for grabs. Caucus goers will arrive Monday, January 15th to their respective precinct locations.
Is there anyone I did not call?
There are more than 1,600 across the state.
Gotcha. Anybody else?
A temporary caucus chair calls the caucus to order at that hour, and following a prayer and pledge of allegiance, the caucus gets underway.
This ballot is for the presidential vote that we are going to take at caucus.
First,
did you want to talk? Or
a surrogate can give a speech on behalf of a candidate. It might sound much like this.
Vivek is the man, right? He's a good candidate. He's excellent. If you like Trump, everyone's saying Vivek's 2.0.
I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the greatest president of our lifetime, the only candidate who can beat Joe Biden and the Democrats this November, President Donald Trump.
Caucus goers then get a ballot, make their choice, and write it down.
Any other questions real quick so we can get started? Yep. And we have to get everything bundled up, including those binders with the voter rolls in them. And then we have to turn all that into RPI, and I meet with them on Tuesday. So I have to have everything done Monday night.
The Iowa Republican Party tells us after ballots are counted, the results in that precinct get announced locally, right there in the room.
So make sure that you're watching them count them, okay?
so
all right.
under 19.
They're counted in front of people, and campaigns are able to observe.
To take this off, now we have to balance to 40.
And after the results are tabulated, recorded on a form and reported electronically.
Okay. Don't leave anything blank.
It's all organized by volunteers, and the process is quite vocal and tedious. It means people have a chance to listen to each other and make their decisions accordingly, which is why it matters what candidates are doing here to sway voter decisions.
Had 3, Nikki Haley had 3, Asa Hutchinson had 0, Vivek Ramaswamy had 5, Donald Trump had 29, we had 0 write-ins. So our winner is Donald Trump with 29 votes for...
Well, are all of you planning to attend on Monday?
Yes.
The other thing I was wondering, given how tedious it is, and given concerns about the validity of elections across the country, do you trust this process?
Yes. In Iowa.
We
trust us, but it's where it goes from there eventually down the line. Same day voting, paper ballots.
And the idea that you all have to be there at the same time versus being able to vote all day long.
Don't do it.
You know, it's the only time we get to meet our precincts. I mean, those that come in for the caucus, I mean, they're my neighbors, but they could be clear on the other side of the precinct, and I never see them. And it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to meet those others in your precinct.
Do you all appreciate that in these small rooms, in this relatively small state, you begin a process to pick what we long considered to be the leader of the free world?
Yes.
Does it ever maybe cross your mind that that is a really awesome responsibility? Yes. But if I'm a Republican in Michigan or Alabama or North Carolina, and I'm thinking to myself, my state should get to go first. Why does your state get to? Why should Iowa get to go first?
We have a relationship here that can be generational. Okay, we know one another.
That's why our officers have really taken it on as a mission, regardless of who we support. It is not about us, it's about the voters. It is to make sure that all the candidates, whether it's Ryan Binkley, Donald Trump, Vivek Haley, whoever it might be, to make sure that they are represented in the county, to make sure they have an opportunity. Whether they choose to come here, that's up to them. But we try to get them in front of the voters. And the thing about, like what Doug was saying, we're grassroots. We're constitutional. We're Second Amendment. You know, there's something to be said for that.
And how many hours have you had to devote to doing this?
You don't even want to know. Yeah, you don't want to know.
Go ahead.
We're the heartland of America, and the values are still here.
We start in the middle.
Doesn't make us any better than anybody else.
No, it's just somebody's got to be first. Why not us?
I guess I'd like to challenge the media and have the media look back at the late 60s, early 70s, where they pushed get out the vote campaigns. And I'd like to see the media promote get out the vote, get off your butts, go to the polls and vote.
This caucus is a good opportunity to exercise that government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This is your time where anybody can take part in that.
Hear, hear.
Yes.
3 million people in the state of Iowa. I get to see all those candidates. I get to go nose to nose, toe to toe, to any candidate I want to see. Not every person is going to see that candidate. In Iowa, every person can see every candidate.
We've heard about immigration and border security here in Iowa.
Open border is not a good thing.
Do you see any effects of all that here in Iowa?
No, I think every state's a border state right now. Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to affect everybody.
They're from all over the world. They're not just from Mexico. And I think it will bode ill for what's going to happen in the future to have that many people that can't be assimilated that quickly.
Yeah, I'm in shock. I just told my husband the other day, do you know how much that orange juice cost? I mean, I am seeing it, and I'm not liking it. And it does change my buying a little bit.
Right now, I'm extremely leaning towards Governor DeSantis. If there was an alternate, the alternate would be Ambassador Haley.
Oh, by the way, Trump was president when a lot of that was happening, and he didn't do anything about it.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley are pushing to cut short Donald Trump's lead in the state. They've been holding rallies and events across Iowa that Trump has barely visited. It may be because he has such a formidable lead, the product of his strategy much different than the one he used back in 2016.
You're going to get out there and caucus. I'm going to be with you for caucus.
Iowa, it's a very Trumpy state, let's face it. Like even I supported Marco Rubio in 2016. He did very well in the suburban area here in Des Moines. He won a lot of the counties, but outstate Iowa in the rural areas, that's Donald Trump country. They're very loyal. It's a mystery to me why, but it's just what it is.
And once Iowans caucus on Monday and the results are announced, it's on to New Hampshire. I'm Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, on the campaign trail.